Are we ready for Rosh Hashana? Rosh Hashana is just upon us. Sunday night, we'll all enter shul and we'll open up our machzorim and we'll start hearing all of the nigunim, the familiar nigunim, the familiar sounds, and soon we'll hear the sound of the shofar. And Rosh Hashana will be upon us, and we'll ask ourselves the question, are we ready, or how can we get ready for the Yomim Noraim that are soon upon us? There was a chassid of the Rebbe Reb Mordechai of Nadvorna, Schus HaYagin Aleinu, who was once visiting his Rebbe, and every time this chassid visited his Rebbe, he stayed for a while to prepare himself to always gain inspiration from his Rebbe. And this time, it was toward the end of Elul, and the Rebbe noticed that this Talmud, this chassid, he was very, very anxious. The Rebbe said to him, "Why are you so anxious? You never like this." And so he responded, he said, "Rebbe, I'm the chazan, I'm the shliach tzibur, I lead the davening in my town. And I have to get back to my town so that I can look in my machzor and make sure that I know the words, so that when the words come out of my mouth, there aren't any mistakes, and everyone can hear my tefillah in a clear and concise fashion." So the Rebbe turned to him and said, "That's why you're running home." He said, "Here you come to be able to spend time working on yourself." He says, "It's more important, rather than working on the words of the tefillah, work on what's in your heart. Work on your actions. Work on preparing yourself before you work on the machzor. The machzor will come. The words of the tefillah, they will be there. But if you're able to say the words of the machzor with sincerity, with integrity, then your tefillah will surely be an inspiration to everyone else and will surely be accepted by HaKadosh Baruch Hu." So we all open up our machzorim on Sunday night, and we ask ourselves, before we do so, are we prepared, and how do we prepare? And I think the answer is that we prepare by making sure that we have the most important ingredients for a successful Yomim Noraim, and those important ingredients are humility and sincerity. The humility of understanding and believing that we pass before HaKadosh Baruch Hu, kivnei maron, like sheep, that just as a shepherd counts his sheep, each and every sheep has a value, so too we come before Hashem, and He looks at us, each and every one of us. We're in a world, billions of people. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu looks at you and me. He looks at each and every one of us, and He asks and thinks and wonders about our value. And He asks and says, is this person, have they lived up to their potential? Are they being the best Jew that they can be? Are they serving HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the best way that they can be? That's the humility. And the second part is the sincerity. To be able to open up that machzor and realize that it's not just words, realize that the words represent the feelings inside of our hearts. To prepare ourselves to look back at our actions over the course of the past year and to be proud for certain things and to lament certain things. And prepare ourselves in the present by being able to look back and hope for the future, in which we can correct areas that we personally want to correct in our avodas Hashem, in our service of Hashem, in our connection to Klal Yisrael, to the Jewish people, and our connection to the Ribbon Shalom. We have a kesher, a knot with Hashem. We all know that sometimes a knot becomes a little bit loose. And we have to come to Hashem on Rosh Hashana, the Yomim Noraim, making sure that our kesher is tight, is not loose. And so showing Hashem that humility, that sincerity, that we really want to be close to Him, is the avodas, the ingredients, are the components that are needed before we even open up our machzor. Imagine if we focus on these two components of our lives and our personalities before we even begin to step foot in shul. Certainly then our Yomim Noraim will serve as an inspirational period where we can feel closer to Hashem and we can feel Him coming even closer to us. And certainly then we will believe and truly, truly hope that we are written and sealed in the book of life for the coming year, and that Hashem will bless us with good health, with parnasa, with nachas, with simcha from ourselves, from our families, and ultimately that all of Klal Yisrael, all of the Jewish people, will be able to see Mashiach Tzidkenu come this year as we enjoy another year of good health and a wonderful life full of Torah and connection to Hashem in the year Tov Shin Samech Tes. May all of us, in the schus of listening to this Dvar Torah every week, be zocha to be written in the Sefer HaChaim. Thank you for listening. Good Shabbos, good Yontif, and Ksiva V'Chasima Tova.